Let's see here. I got to spin this around though. Oh yeah, there it is. There we go. Yeah, that's not too shabby. Make it bigger, make it smaller. I don't know. Hey, B-Rad. Hey, Peter. Welcome back. Hang on just a sec here. Just getting everything all set up. And so, okay. I think we're ready and good to go. If you missed it last night, I don't have quite as much light because my phones are kind of blocking the light. So I might, let me see if I can make that better or not. Maybe from there. Is that a little bit better? Yeah, that looks slightly better on one of the cameras. Yeah, I think that's what I'm going to stick with. I'm going to go like this. Excellent. Maybe do the same over here a little bit. Or, I don't know. Very difficult. Okay. So, if you missed it last night, if you weren't around, then you probably don't know that we made this thing right here. This is actually made 100% out of wood. So that's all wood right there. And we used a CNC machine that we got. It's about like $450 to buy the thing, which isn't bad compared to like 3D printers and things. I was able to make this in a lot less time and a lot more detail and for a lot less money because I didn't have to buy PLA to do it. And it came out really pretty high detail. But, of course, it needed to also be painted. And so that was one of the first things that I did. So the first thing I did was I used some primer. So I sprayed it with some primer. This is the exact primer that I used. And then I used my favorite tool. This is really, as far as painting goes, this is my favorite tool, which is this Forged Hammer paint and primer by Rust-Oleum. And the reason why it's my favorite tool is because it gives you this great, just like it does on the cap, actually, it will give you this great look that looks like old hammered metal and comes out pretty great. So for that reason, I really like using it. I use it on a lot of my projects. If it's something that I'm not wanting to look like beautiful, as in pristine and not weathered, then I will use that. And then for the colors on top of it, it's harder now to tell that this is blue, but I just sprayed it with a blue enamel is what I used. This one right here by Tester, and it came out really great. And then I also sprayed it with this Rust-Oleum. This is the paint and primer that they have, and it came out pretty good too. Sometimes I'll intentionally use two different brands of paint because when you do that, sometimes they chemically don't bond well, and then you get some really crazy things that will happen. But just so you can see, so right here I hit it with my primer first, and then I've got my Rust-Oleum hammered paint, and then there's what the blue looks like on top of it. Unfortunately, what I have underneath it isn't very well. It's kind of rough looking. And then, of course, I hit it also with that yellow. And then the benefit to that is when we do that, and I go through, the only thing is I just barely sprayed it. But you can see I can remove some of that, and what I get underneath it is the metal itself. Or I will get a slightly different color, or get the details standing out more. And that's what I did on here before we started doing some of the further detailing. And so if you didn't see the early versions of it, that's kind of how I got at least it painted to generally to the point where we could start doing detailing it, which we're going to continue to do a little bit today. Also, as far as I love dollar store, going to the nail care section. I love these kind of blocks for sanding. They come with everything I need. They're small enough that I can do stuff. You can also get the hobby-based sanders. I like those too to really get down into those nooks and crevices, stuff like that. But at any rate, so that is what we've been doing so far. And now we're going to keep on adding to this. So kind of our palette from last night. This is the palette that we used yesterday, and have these different colors on here. By the way, if you are watching, you're watching right now either on TikTok or on YouTube. The reason why it's vertical in YouTube is because that pushes it also to shorts, which means that for some people, this is the first time that you're seeing our channel. And on our channel we do make things. We make things like this, but we also make a lot of props, make them work the way that they do in the actual game or in the movies. And and today we're making something for Fallout, and I'm going to show you some other props that I have and some other projects today, too, including some things I'm going to be just giving away in person, in fact. So anyway, right now, I've kind of done this direction. Like, as you look at it, you can see we got a lot of details from this angle that looks fine. I'm going to turn it around now because I'm going to try and add more details going this direction. One thing that you'll notice here is that I have some areas that also need some more black in them, some things to be kind of filling in. And then at the same time, I really do like my rust that's going on so far, but we need some more details that are in there. We'll also need a water run from up here in order to make this look correct as far as how that rust is developing. And so that's what I'm going to be doing today. I'm also going to show you how to use this on other props. This is one that I bought back in the day, right? My core right there. And so, yeah, the same procedure can be used on things like this, and it works great. And so I'm also going to show it on there as well. But the first thing I need some colors, kind of like we had going on yesterday. And so that's the first thing I'm going to start out by doing, is mixing up some of my paints to get this going. And the first important one that I want is that burnt umber that really did a lot of the heavy lifting for this project. So I'm going to put a lot more in one than in some of the others, and maybe just a tad right there. And then secondary, I definitely want some yellows in one of these, which is this one right here. Just a drop. That's good enough. I can stir that in, and maybe drop right there too. Doesn't want to leave the stupid thing. There we go. And then also I can add some other browns too. Yeah. Some of these are really stuck on. There we go. So I'm going to just put a little bit of that in there. And I'm also going to be using some greens today, which some people asked me yesterday about painting the Pip-Boy. Well, as you're probably familiar, I actually have handled and had in my possession the actual screen use prop for the Pip-Boy 3000 Mark V, and we took it apart. And I will say that the paint job on that, what you're seeing a lot more of, is a patina, and it's a really pretty one. But oops, I need another color though. I'm going to pull that off. Specifically, not this one. What do I want to see? Let's see. Here we go. Let's go for a. I was kind of hoping for a lighter blue. I don't see that I have one. These are just, some of these are oils, some of these are pastels, some of them are a basic acrylic, and yep, I'm mixing them all together. Any rate, the other thing I want is red. This color red, actually. That one right there. So a little crimson color. Just a little bit of that. Come on. There you go. And some in here too. Okay. Perfect. And then I want some blacks. All right. I'm just going to put that over here though. Perfect. All right. And now to stir that, I'm going to use a different tool for doing that real quick. Bring these colors down, mix them in. And yeah, that's the color I'm looking for with that one. And yep, I'm going to transfer that into my next layer of colors. Some of it, because I'll need it to be, that one's real red. I don't want the next one to be that red. A little, but not that red. Not in that way, I don't think. You know? I might have to come back and do, yeah, I think I want a little bit more of a, let's see this one. Just a little. Yeah. Perfect. And then, if I can get enough of this out of my brush, I'm going to mix it with a little bit of blue and a little bit of green. Going for poop colors here. There we go. Perfect. Perfect. Okay. Yeah, that's what I'm looking for. All right. And then I'm going to bring out the same brush I was using last night, because the bristles are nice and stiff right now on it. And do a little bit of a test run here. So I'm going to be going in this direction. Let me check in with you guys too. It started. Hey, Jeremy. Hey, you made it today. How's it going, Sith Lord McGill? I know what it is, but what does it do? What is it used for? This or the or the brushes? So this door right here, this is a vault door, Vault 111, and so kind of going back and revisiting some of our Fallout 4 stuff. But we cut this out of wood 100%. So this has been CNC'd out of wood. And now we painted it, and now I'm just going back and giving it more detail. Because the paint is coming I should say, the water and the stuff that's going to be making it, rusty is coming from this direction. We're wanting to hit the tops now more with some of our colors, and trying to see how well this color is going to work. It looks like it's about the same. Yeah, it's looking pretty good. I think I want a little more red, though. I'm pretty sure I do want a little more of that red. I also think I do want to switch out my brushes. Let's do this one. Perfect. And so, I moved it over here. Yeah, we'll go for this one after all. Let's see what happens. Shall we? Oh, that is good. Okay. Yeah, I see those open gaps and things I'm trying to fill in here. And it would be tailing in from this end, from this direction. And yes, let's see here. Courier 06. I hope I answered your question. Okay. Yeah. Let's test it up here a little bit more on the actual yellows. See what color I'm actually getting. Shall we? Not getting much of anything out of that. Let's see. Oh, there we go. trying to be aware of where the cameras are pointed. There we go. And yeah. Mm-hmm. I think I want the top just to be a little more. I realized afterwards that I had given a little bit too specific a direction toward these gears here, and the truth be told, if it's coming from the top, I don't know why that would be. So I'm trying to match it out a little bit more, and then I'll do some streams. We'll explain some of the development of stuff that we have at that point. So I also want to get my yeah. Dragging it in the direction that's coming from as much as I can. All right. Oops, something kind of like that. Does that sound pretty good? And let's see, interact. Gotcha. All right. And then let's see here. Peter says, could you speak more about Nuka-Cola Phil? It was really cool. Also, where can I watch the commercial? Oh, good questions. Thanks for, I don't know if you're just setting me up for being able to share things, or as far as Nuka-Cola Phil, I mean, I mentioned it a little bit yesterday. The thing that I like about Nuka-Cola Phil, because I personally, I kind of identify, on one hand, this is a group of people that they're just extremely passionate about Nuka-Cola. They love it, right? And so much so that they've dedicated their lives to delivering it. So the whole deal is that Nuka-Cola Phil, you only meet him, quite frankly, when you beat him up in one of the earlier games and take his stuff, including a Nuka-Cola bicycle. I think he has a Nuka-Cola jacket. He has on a hat, right? And the truth is, Nuka-Cola Phil is like a faction, like any of the others. So, Brotherhood of Steel or whatever. These are people that religiously believe that is their calling to go and deliver Nuka-Cola across the wasteland. And so, anyway, so they still make it and they still deliver it. So in the game, we just assume that it's all just old Nuka-Cola that happens to already be around, but they are also delivering it to some of the places that you go and to some of the machines and things like that. They're still active, and we know from the lore and the wiki that sure enough, it's just this group of people. And so men and women across time delivering underneath, the name Phil. And so, yeah. So there you go. So I think Nuka-Cola Phil is an important character. Whoops. An important character in the Fallout universe that doesn't get enough attention. But anyway, let's see here. And Connor says, you're working on the vault door. Meanwhile, I'm working on building a vault in Minecraft. You are? That's very cool. Sith Lord Miguel has also built a as exact as he can Vault 33 in Minecraft. That was pretty good. So you guys should check each other's minds out, or check each other's vault doors out, or vaults. At any rate, it's interesting. So in Fallout 4, the the vault's on the ground, right? And it opens up like this. I mean, it's that kind of vault door. But then you run across all these other vaults that are all standing up, against the mountain or whatever else. So I think because they were around so long before, people even went into them, they probably were already a bit worn down. I mean, they were made from, I'm guessing, they're iron, right? In which case, we would have more of this look going on. I think I need a little more reds. Let's go for this. How extreme do I want to go with red? I don't know. We'll see how this looks, though. Maybe I'll test it first down here. That's pretty red. But at the same time, so I do want to get as much as I can down in here and along here. I know that the common thing when people go doing weathering is they're like, I'm going to get a gun plug, silver. I'm going to touch all the edges so it looks like it's been, weathered that way, that it's come in contact with stuff. And that'd be fine for certain metals. And saying that it wasn't rusted already to this extreme. I mean, if we're talking iron, even steel, actually, when steel is when you take that stainless level layer off of stainless steel, it instantly, or at least the stuff I've got upstairs in our shower, instantly when I once cleaned it with some stuff that took that layer off, will instantly become rusted, and it will go a very brown color, and you aren't going to see anything where there's exposed metal. It's just going to be like this. And so how accurate, some things might look cool, but then you'll get criticism because they're not accurate. Other things you might be like, people might love it. It's a real trick to find some kind of balance. But at any rate, let's see. Hello, Gavin. And who else we got here? Next step. Oh, good. Okay. Yeah. And then, let's see here. Hang on here. So Connor says, a Vault 111's vault setup makes perfect sense for how you build a vault. That's not in a mountain to maximize how far down it is in bedrock. And it has 2 doors, technically. It's true, because it goes that way. As it doesn't have a regular door. Yeah. I agree. I'm going to put it like this. Well, if you guys can't see this very well, I know one of the downsides to doing it in this orientation is you don't see as much detail. But if it looks too dark or anything like that, let me know. Hello, Tim. Hello, The Best Choice, and Gregory Stoger, and Joseph Ward, and Tata Perone, I think, Chucho, and all y'all that are coming in from TikTok as well. I like the idea of live building and doing things. So I'm going to be doing this as much as possible. So if this is your first time coming to our channel or seeing this kind of stuff, or you're wanting to see more, make sure that you subscribe, because we have full-length videos too that are pretty in-depth, and we usually give a lot of information that is kind of, well, we're lucky enough to feature for the first time in public. So anyway, speaking of which, you might already know that IGN has a new flavor of Jones Brothers nuka-cola, which is the grape. They involved this in the one for Quantum that was sour, and it was real sour. If you see that video, oh wait a minute, I just forgot about one of the questions that I had earlier. So where do you go to watch the commercial for the nuka-cola fill stuff? Well, you can go to Bethesda's site and you'll see the cleaned up version of the commercial. If you weren't on last night, you probably didn't hear the full story. That I had to make two versions, and Bethesda, they have a team that I had to sit down with, when we did the first pitch meeting, and then when we did the follow-up, and they were a little nervous about the original version that we had, where basically we use a nuka-cola zapper and blow this husband and wife across their kitchen with it. They were worried it was going to be interpreted as being too sexual or something, but so they wanted to go with the safer version, which was basically me just approaching the door and then talking about it and stuff. You can see the clean version on Bethesda's website, the Gear Store's website, I should say, under the Fallout Fizz Club. You can also see the prequel and all that stuff to that on our channel. But if you want to see the full version, the one that shows me basically terrorizing this couple, then if you are coming to the Fallout event in Good Springs this year, you will get a chance to see the full thing. So, or at least that's the plan. I have the permission to show that off now. So anyway, even though it is kind of my video, I still had to get some permission on it. So anyway, all right. So, what do you think of this so far? It's coming out okay, I think. And so it's hard for me to tell on my phone in relation to one for TikTok. Some of it looks a little more washed out, but I will try and make that as best I can. It's just because of where the lighting is placed, I think that's happening. But anyway, so let's see. Safe for work version, yeah. And so if you want to, I think you've seen it though. I shared that with you directly, I think, beforehand. So I do have some friends of our channel that I've shared that with, I guess. Yeah, you're going to be there, right, Connor? So I was at that, and I'll show that and the movie that we're making, or at least the first scene of the Fallout movie that we're working on, called The Representative, which is, you might have guessed, about the representative. Anyway, okay. I think the next thing I'm going to do before I go too far with some of this is I want to fill in my gaps. I didn't do it too much last night. Ooh, I'm getting a little bit too heavy with the red. I may have to fix that. Oh, that looks all right though. It's doing okay. Do the same thing over here. Not quite as much of it. I keep making a mistake at touching the stupid thing in places where I shouldn't. So then it's getting a little overdone. Okay. And okay. I know when I saw this, the pictures of it the first time, I actually didn't realize it was blue, to be honest. In the game and things. You know what I mean? Like every picture you can find of it, it has so much rust and the light is very dark in the game too. So it it's a little hard to tell. Whoops. Yeah. Okay. Oop. Okay. Perfect. All right, let's take a little glance here. Ready? Mirror. I'm looking through both my phones right now. So it's in stereo. But anyway, yeah, how's that looking? Hi, Big O. Jim Broomback 3, the third. Wildman, Apple user 466653. That's the problem. This is use Apple. You're gonna not be the first user. Well, let's see here. And so, let's see. Okay. Whoop. I want to make sure that I'm maintaining my batteries on here too. Yes, I am. Also, let's see. Whoop. Missed single good sprint. Haven't missed one, Connor says. That's good. Heading out. Might be able to watch later. Okay, see you later, Gavin. Sith Lord Miguel. Is the movie done? No. And the reason is because I always have bigger. I always want to make something into something bigger than it has to be. And so I have gone out of my way to save money and have some of my some friends, at least they're people I somewhat know, that I thought would be fun to have instead of the show. There's one of them is a former Saturday Night Live alumni from not the first season, but at the same time, he's very, very well known. Phil Hartman era. And a former good friend of his. That's one person. Another one is very, very well known. Super nice guy. Willing to do whatever. He's going to do it for the purpose of charity. So that's what I have to donate to for him to participate. And he's been in several big things recently. So in order for me to do some of their scenes, that's what I have to do. And then I also have to finish building part of the set. And because we do have an actual vault set, I'm going to, well, at least one full wall that I need to build. And that's going to make my wife very unhappy. At the same time, it would have been cool if I could have done it in one of the existing sets. That would be pretty neat, huh? Kind of hoping when I go to LA, those guys are actually more in the San Diego area, but still, maybe I could drop by and see that. Okay. And the problem is in these little nooks and crannies is there was a lot of sawdust. I just couldn't get out of there, and so now as I'm trying to go back and paint it, it's making it very difficult for me. But that's okay. Doing my best as I go around. And yeah. Some of this I can turn into iron. Looks pretty irony. Yep. That's not a bad color for it, is it? It's just black. But I can pull in some of those other colors. And that'll give it more of a nice iron look. Oops, missing the direction. Okay. Yeah, that looks nice. Let's see here. So instead of, like I said, instead of a silver or gunpla thing, that old trick, we're dealing more with iron. So we're going to go for some irony colors. They're going to be a little bit darker of rust in those areas. Let's say what we have somewhere else. Okay. Right. Yeah, it's looking pretty good. And then, let's see. This is my first time of doing stuff on TikTok, so I don't know. For those that are on there, I apologize. I'm responding more to people that are over here on YouTube. Are you working on an animated outro for your videos or for the? Yeah. Tell me more about that. He does a great job on Sith Lord McGill. You've probably seen more so. I think it's been more on Instagram and stuff. Doing a lot of really cool. They look like old-fashioned advertisements and stuff like that. They're very Fallout-esque. But anyway, let's see here. Connor YouTube supremacy. Well, you know, I do know how to use it better, a lot more. So it's gonna naturally, I'm gonna be able to provide a lot better stuff in this right now for the YouTube audience, just because I'm not sure how to do. Like, how can you? How do I get where you can comment or message me live chat in the other? I guess I don't have as much, experience with it. So, ooh, boy, that's really black. Just hit it with some of this real quick. Up. Oh yeah. Yep, it's looking nice and dirty. And I keep forgetting to say stuff as I'm doing this. Oh, what's this? I've got. Oh, hang on. Sorry about that to anyone that's on. That's very interesting. My back of my phone came apart. There we go. That's probably better. There we go. Yeah. Yeah, see? Yeah. There you go. All right. And it's really darkening up those edges as much as I can. I made a mistake right here, though. I don't know that I really wanted to do it like right there. Again, I need it to make sense why and where it's coming from. So I'm making some minor mistakes here. Oh, for the YouTube channel as well. Okay, very good. Swamp Donkey. Hi, Swamp Donkey. And let's see. Excellent. So, I think I'm going to try and lighten up some bits and pieces. I'm running out of my stuff for doing that. Drag it back into there. Same thing here. I really didn't want it to get that dirty over there. Okay. Oh, I also need to get these holes all filled in, although this one's getting a little too See, when I pull it out, can we see any sawdust? I don't know, maybe a little bit. What do you think? I kind of ruined that brush for this. There's the rest of my brushes. Grab some more brushes. At some point, I also would like to get some toothpicks for doing some of the detailing. But, yeah, what do you do? I think I'm going to get some more reds just to re-liven this up a little bit. So, move this out of the way a little bit. Okay. Get some more of that. Just a little bit more. Just a little bit more. Here we go. Yeah, there we go. Hello, Sunny. It's Sunny for Life. Yeah, hi, Sunny for Life. Hi, Joseph Bell. Over here on the TikTok side of things. I'm doing some more reds at this point, is what you're seeing here. Again, I gotta have it from this angle, so maybe I should tilt it. That's part of my problem is I keep trying to go in the wrong direction. Okay. Excellent. Yeah, it's getting there. I think I want more red on top of this too, actually. Maybe even some yellow if I have to. Let's do a tad bit of yellow. Why not? Okay. Sorry about that. A little trip right there for one of the cameras. I should just take the back of my phone off and I'd stop having that problem. All right. So what would happen at this point in time? What kind of paints am I using? That's a very good question. So the base paints, once again, in case you just joined us, I used a primer paint, Rust-Oleum primer. I use mostly Rust-Oleum products. Paint and primer, flat primer. Then I used the hammered, forged hammered all-in-one paint that they have that gives us more this kind of look and will also give us a really nice texture that looks like it's old and things. The blue is actually just a blue enamel tester brand in this case, and then the yellow, the base yellows that I'm using are actually this Rust-Oleum Painters color that's about this color. I like the ones that have, I don't really like yellow. I always like more of an orangey yellow. So at any rate, that's what I went with. That's more accurate to what you'd see in the game as well. But anyway, and then these paints that I'm using right now are a mix of, I'm using oils, I'm using acrylics and things. My favorite paints to be using for this right now is right here. Here it is. So everything I'm kind of basing off this burnt umber color, which is what a lot of this has. And I'm adding some reds, some yellows, and some browns to kind of make it a little bit better, cleaner looking. I don't know how to describe that, but at the same time, yes, that is though what I'm doing. Just kind of dancing around, just dancing around the edges a bit at this point. And filling in anything I might have missed yesterday as far as some further detailed colors and where they need to be. Okay, with that said, next, now let's look at what this does on something like this. So if I was to start with a color for this, quite frankly, I still would probably repaint it to be more this color first, which would look much better. Plus the paint would stick to it better. But let's just say I just wanted to start like making this a little messy. I could start to do that in different areas. So that's to kind of get some of that iron look or metal look of things that are scraped. And then kind of dabbing around certain areas as I go along. Sorry, I don't have it within the screen. And that sounds like it's just crazy. This doesn't look that great. I'm going to tap it a bit. And then I'm going to wipe it off. And what I'm left with in the corners, first off, I'm getting closer to my color I'm wanting right there, see? But also, when I go back and I add some more, let me get my other kind of thing out here. Yeah. Now I can go into these crevices and stuff, or along here, like so. Oop. There we go. Well then, and then I would, whoop, again, tapping it away. If I'm doing it on something like this, I would just be doing multiple layers, trying to get more and more things that are staying inside of the cracks and that are going to give me more and more the kind of a change in color. So from here to here, you can see this big difference in that color. But anyway, and then I can go back and I can do some of my other tricks. But for right now, that's what I'm doing right here. So let's say, okay, now I want to create something that looks a little bit more like iron. All right, so let's do that. First thing we're going to use, let's see here, I want to make this is black. Oh, that is white. This is, here we go. This is going to be not so mixed, or well mixed. Stir it up a little bit. Yeah. Give me a nice metallic base that I can now mix my other paint with. I want to go a little bit. Remember this color I did over here? It's the green and stuff. Alright, just a tad darker. Yeah, that's it right there. Okay. And now I'm going to just hit it in some different places. I think one thing I also showed yesterday was that one of my other favorite things that I have is factual iron. This stuff right here. And the reason why I like that isn't because of a color, it's because when you paint it on and then expose it to the right elements, it will actually rust. So you get real rust and not just something that I'm trying to make look like rust. I'm wanting to do this a little bit here and there to represent areas where the paint's been worn off a little bit and we have some rust nearby, but just gives us some variety. And what's there? I'm trying to see how this looks on here. But anyway, so there you go. As we keep on going here. And mostly I'm wanting to do it up in certain areas. I want to hit my pins with that too, like right here. Looks like there's one right there, yep. Yeah. So some of the ones that didn't get hit initially. There we go. And so looking pretty good. All right, maybe a little bit right here too. Just to kind of show that it's iron underneath there. And the spots that haven't quite fully gone. Oh yeah. Oh, maybe a little bit here too. And then let's see. We're checking in with people. What kind of paint? Okay, I already read that one. Let's see. Hi, Robbie. It would be cool if you made the vault's entrance the top of the elevator. That would be cool. I'd have to cut it in half though, right? And then hi, Graham. I thought you were already here before that, but maybe I was wrong. So let's see here. Then, yeah, okay. Let me know if it's hard to see stuff. Whoops, if it's hard to see things. But I think. Oh yeah, see here. Say I want to show some newly developed, exposed areas. Whoops. Once again, I'm not watching my direction right. So it should be going this direction, not like that. Right? And this will make sense as to why certain things are going a certain direction. Okay. So I'm going to keep doing that as we go around here. So just to show kind of that could also do some random pieces here and there. Okay. And then, if you aren't already following us and you like this kind of stuff, I'm going to be doing a lot of live builds pretty soon. Follow us over on YouTube, where we have full-length videos of our builds. But then also on TikTok and Instagram and things where we'll be posting things, or where we also will do these live streams where we will be making things. One of my next ones actually has to do with the Pip-Boy, so if you're into that, then you might want to make sure that you join and say hi to us, because yeah. I've also been talking a little bit about the Good Springs event. In case you didn't know, there's it's got to be the biggest Fallout event, I would assume, in the world, and it takes place in Good Springs, which is of course in Fallout New Vegas. But at any rate, okay. So come visit us if you come out to that. It is in Nevada, in Good Springs is the main location, and is November. Connor, you're on, aren't you? Remind me of the dates. I'm flying out there. I'm going to be out there that whole week before, along with James from our channel. Yeah. Let's see here. So tell me what you know. Is Connor on there? Let's see. Graham said hi. Let's see. Top messages and on messages. Perfect. Any rate, yeah, it's gonna be in November though. You can also go. They have a website. If you go to the Pioneer Saloon website in Good Springs, Nevada, you will see. You'll see their stuff. Wow, this is really looking a lot rustier than I had originally planned. Am I right? But at the same time, this is upside down too. Keep that in mind. But I think all my ridging, I'm going to be doing just this direction, because I think it makes sense, right? Ridging is, of course, where we'll be exposing some of the metal, and that's what I'm trying to do right now. Where'd my palette go? Here it is. Let's get some more of that stuff to put on there. I think I put it on too much right here, though. Obviously, that was where I was just experimenting with it, I guess. But I am going to come back and I'll add some more rust to it too. I just, at the moment, just kind of wanting to. Oops. Yeah. Whoop, whoop. Lead train 86. 14th through the 16th. Thank you. I thought it was. I guess I fly back on the 17th, so that makes sense. Thank you for that. That is when it takes place. If you check the on YouTube, if you check the link that Connor sent me in the video from last night, the live stream, they still have a discount and discount code for the hotel down there, and you can stay in another Fallout location, which in real life is called Buffalo Bills, which is part of Prim in real life as well. And let's see. Sorry, every now and then I forget how big this thing's so big I can't keep it inside the frame, inside the shot. But at any rate. Going to come back and hit all these areas with a little bit more of the rust, but first I just wanted to have more exposed metal. Is the idea behind it. Okay, maybe even a little bit along here too. right? As I remember, on this part, we want to have, definitely want to have some, because as I remember, they have quite a bit of, again, I did more, so I'm not doing the shiny metal. I'm doing what iron would look like if it's exposed, okay? So it's a little more dull. It's not going to be shiny. But at the same time, we'll look more exposed. Yeah, maybe a little bit of that right there, right there. Yeah. Maybe some on the edges down here too. Be good. I'm not talking as much as I was yesterday. Give me some topics. What are some things you guys want to know? Anything you want me to talk about in particular? Not just Fallout related. I can talk about whatever. I think it's pretty cool. Some people are now coming out to New York City Comic Con. I'll be there. They invited me out in October. Is when that is, and kind of. I really appreciated it last year. I thought it was a really good event. With what's happening with San Diego Comic Con, it's nice to have an alternative. Although I feel bad because I never really got to go to the San Diego one and stuff before all that. So I kind of wish I would have had that opportunity, but I did not. Okay, let me check back in on people here. Okay. And then, all right. Good deal. Okay. I think now I am ready to come back and do a little more rust before I do kind of a final thing. I was going to, now I have stencils for these two arms right here that have type on them to be able to paint that out. And I was going to get that cut today or yesterday, and then it didn't happen. Then I thought, I'll get it cut later. I'll get it cut today. And that didn't happen. So, unfortunately, this that's one thing I won't be able to do here on the live stream is kind of touch up the stuff related to. Ooh, that's looking good. I like how some of that's coming out right there. Real nice. Yeah. This I definitely want to work it in a little bit more. Okay. And then, let's see. Oh, Swamp Donkey to remove the. Oh yeah, they had to remove the songs for some reason. They didn't. You're asking about the Pip-Boy 3000? Why the songs aren't on there? Basically, and the extent that I can tell you about it. So, yeah, he was given permission to be able to create songs, to put them on. Essentially, they asked several times, and then after they created it, they paid to bring two people, a woman and a guy, who are the ones that sing it, the Good Morning songs, for the Pip-Boy, and then paid them and everything else. And then after it was actually on there, then they're like, why is this on here? You need to take this off. They're hoping to be able to use it somehow somewhere else, or possibly, I don't know. Maybe there's some other things that are coming out pretty soon in relation to them that I can't also talk too much about. So I would say just hang in there. Although the Pip-Boy that I will be, the people will be able to get from me, I won't have it won't be updated, so it won't be updated past that point, and we'll have those songs still on it until you update it. Or if you want to save them, pull them off the SD card, you could beforehand. But yeah, that's the extent of that. I think I'm going to turn this around now so I can see it from this side. Okay, so. Oh. Hang on, something's going on here with the. Oh, there we go. So yeah, so that's what it's looking like right now from all angles, right? Jeep Girls and Universe. Okay. Oh, hey, this is the first comment we saw. Sorry about that I've noticed on the TikTok. Pain doctor I'm seeing now overdosed me. Will you pray new doctor will accept me so I can get away from Dr. T? Okay. Sounds good. Jesus loves Virgil. Thank you. Appreciate it. Any rate. So yeah, I think I want to touch this up a little bit more. Maybe even turn it back to some of the colors it originally was. So I'm going to use this to do that. I'm also going to need a little something here to make that a possibility. Doop. Good enough. I have a new table, and I decided not to use that because I didn't want it to get, I didn't want it to get ruined. Crap, I just got stuff on my fingers. I don't want it to get anywhere else. All right, so. I want to bring back a little bit of that yellow and orange color. All right, good enough. And then pat that out. All right. And then I'm going to go back to where is it? I used to doing this live. That's part of it. Okay. Hmm. Hmm. Mm-hmm. All right. For a second there, I wasn't getting my rust color that I wanted. And it's coming through, although it's going to be hard to tell on the camera. Mm-hmm. Yep. Okay. Skirt. Okay. And oh, Let's see. Swamp Kneezer. Any plans to seal or paint the back? Maybe. It depends on. I've got an idea for how I'm going to do some final treatments on it, and that's going to involve my laser cutter. So I can't seal it before I do that kind of thing. So, but yes, good point. You know, they say you can't go overboard, but I think you can. I'm getting close to that for some of this. And then I'm going to show you how to do something different, and I'm going to show you something secret. How's that sound? You like secrets? I know I like secrets. Now and then. I think I'm going to steal some of this back. Is that going to be enough to get the effect I'm trying to get? Okay. Yup. Switching out my brushes for a sec here. And now all right. Oh, that's one of the things I wanted to get for sure. Darn it. Okay. Need my burnt umber right away. Self-correct that. Maybe also some see that? Just brought the color back. Okay. Okay. And then some real red I want to hit this with. Need more than that. Yep, that's it, right? All right. And then all right, so with all that said, this is basically where it is at this point, like that. And so looking pretty good. I think I can be satisfied with maybe just as I said that. Okay. Maybe yes. Okay. Like that. So, any rate, let's see. Peter says, any plans to see? Okay, you already said that. Now you've got me curious. Oh, about the back? Oh, because of the laser cutter? Yeah, I'm planning on giving this to someone specific. And I think that I will do a little nice thing on it on the back. Once when it's all completely dried and done, that is. I think I just got some of this on my face. Isn't that nice? So, which I don't want to do. I'm going to handle something here, a few things here that I thought you might be interested in. But, so, this was my, let me see if I can set this up so that everybody can see it better. There. And then if I bring this one like this, oops, tilt it up, like this. This was my my first nuka-cola zapper that I did, and you can see again I used the hammered paint. So if you see all the textures that are on it as I turn it, that's because I did the hammered paint first, and then I hit it with multiple layers of different colored paints to get this effect, which is, you know, again, like if it was a heavy metal toy, which it's not, it looks that way. But also what you can't see is I use multiple reds to the point that it has a lot of texture in it and really makes it look pretty nice. But at the same time, let's see. Then what I did is I could just scrape off with my finger. I was able to scrape off some of the paint to make it look the way that I wanted it to. I'm trying to get this where I can position it so I can show you multiple other things here. I also made a working version of that gun, and this I showed last night. I know. So this is the radio slash lunchbox that I made. It's the back of which looks like this, which I was really happy with. This is all laser cut, 3D laser cut. You can take a 3D file and then you can make it into something like this. But then also we made it so that it would work. So anyway, and then I don't know though if I'm going to be able to get any stations. Even if I did, it probably wouldn't be good because that would probably demonetize the thing. And then I also made it where it can connect to Bluetooth, or to the SD card. Anyway, so that's something else that we did not too long ago at the Good Springs event this year. I'm going to be using some effects that I'll show on both these channels in relation to this. This is a lunchbox. Where's my little handle for this one? This one's I think supposed to be for nuka-cola, but at the same time, see, it's got a little thing on the top. It can open up. Maybe a little hard with the camera situation. So yeah, you can open it up. It will have actual things inside of it. I also have already done some test prints for my for my labels for the front and the back. And then I'll be weathering it later on. So let's see if I can turn this a little bit more. There we go. So anyway, so that way, yeah, I'll be giving out lunch boxes for free. And then this is a test sheet. So I've got the front and back for that. And then also I've got this strip, which is supposed to go around the edges here. But it won't be this color. So just to make sure that it would fit, basically. So you got those characters that go around the sides and the front and the top. And I'll have a few different flavors, or different themes, from Nuka-Cola to the one that you just saw, the Prepare for the Future one. Let's see here. Nuka-Cola was Nuka-Cola World. There's two other ones that I can't even think of. And then I'm also doing a cap mine that I'll give away that also uses a little switch like this one right here. So you'll actually be able to switch on the light on it, and that'd be kind of cool. I'll have some fun things in it. Another thing I haven't shown anyone, for the most part, from the movie actually, if you see clips of it, it looks like we have a full-scale Mr. Handy, which is actually right there. He's 1/6 scale. But right there's the lawnmower I had to have him move. And because this is supposed to be Fallout, naturally, I also have this fusion core that came from from my fusion flea that I can stick in there. It's just like that. And there you go. So it has a little tiny fusion core in it, which makes sense if we're going to be in that area. And of course, Mr. Handy's mowing the lawn in the movie. But at any rate, speaking of fusion fleas, like here's mine, right? They recently had done the pink one. Stay tuned for more exciting things from the wine company this year. But at any rate, so yeah, I'm going to be doing a lot more stuff like this that we're going to work on, and things I'm going to show you how to do. We also have some things I'm going to do that are from other IPs as well. And so not just Fallout, but other geeky things. So if you're interested, hang out for that. And make sure that you subscribe or follow me so that you can actually see those. I'll also be doing a paint mod for the actual Pip-Boy 3000 Mark V to make it look like the one that I actually got a handle that was Lucy's prop, exactly like it looks. So it has more of a patina and things to it, like I said, and then using completely different paints. So I would not use these paints for doing anything that's on plastic or metal. This works because it was on wood and because I painted it beforehand with these paints. So so that's kind of that piece. Also, I'll be doing some live builds of some of the fan home stuff if you want to see that, and I'll also show you more in relation to I'll tell you what, I'm going to disconnect the cable from this one. Right here, there is my Pip-Boy 2000 shoot. I didn't charge part of it is the problem. I was going to. Let me see if it turns on. Hang on just a sec here. Okay. See if this is... It's not charged. Oh, no. So the Geiger counter works 100%. It lights up the clock and things. The radio works, and I don't have to rely on my batteries anymore for that. Things like that. Check out my full video. But on the flip side, I've been getting enough messages from people to continue with the other stages for the one that I was doing, which is a Nuka-Cola one. And finally, I'm going to just give in and do it. But I might do that live for some of the pieces. But I am working on, I got to still get a certain 3D part in order to be able to finish that. So So at any rate, that is that. Please, yeah, if you aren't already, follow us so you can see more things like this in the future, or subscribe to us. And then also feel free, if you need to, you can email me at yourgeekfix@gmail.com. Also check out our podcast and our other full-length films. We have a full-length video that's coming out pretty soon that's on Star Trek and the One Company's tricorder. That is, we went so overboard on this thing. It should, hopefully it'll blow you away. But again, you can't see that if you don't follow us or subscribe. Oh yeah, sorry. There's a couple more questions I got on here. I'm gonna catch up on those. Did you link the file for the CNC so we can cut? Yes. The file I used was technically somebody else's for this. So that 3D file, it was actually for a fidget spinner that I integrated and put together. So I do have the link on the CNC review video that I did. That I actually, there's for that file and tells you how to do it if you have a CNC machine. As far as if you're looking for the G code, boy, oh yeah, that was another thing. Last night I showed you that we were 3D cutting a piece, and the G code was wrong, so it flipped it backward, and so it cut off the wrong end, and so we didn't get the final product in the end, so we're going to have to recut it. But at the same time, yeah, the 3D files on there, all you had to do is just drop it into the CNC machines, and basically tell it the size, and that was it. And then it would do a rough cut, and then it went back and did the detailed cut that you see right here. So yeah, so feel free to go check that out. And let's see here. What's the other question that I had on here? It's looking really good. That nearly looks like the vault door from the game. Oh, thank you. Is the movie out? Swamp Donkey said. You're asking about our movie, I'm guessing. No. I will show the first scene and the intro at the Good Springs event, and then we'll continue to be working on that. Actually, so it'll probably take me a little while because of what it's involving. But at the same time, yeah, I've got voice actors, actual in-person actors, well-known people that are involved. I've got the soundtrack paid for and own that, and it has the coolest soundtrack, which I could play on YouTube, but I can't play it yet on TikTok, I don't think. Because that's what it's licensed for at the moment, is I licensed it for my YouTube channel. I'm still trying to figure out how to, because I'm not planning on, I don't think I can show the whole thing on TikTok. So that'll be probably bits and pieces, however we do it there. But probably the trailer will be on TikTok. So if that's where you watch things like that. Peter says, any idea how long the movie will be? Yes, it will be 30 minutes. It won't be 90 minutes. However, that 30 minutes is going to be, it's funny because I made a lot of videos that are essentially movies on our channel, and they have been an hour, some even longer than that. But this is meant to be more of a short, it's meant to be a part of a series. So this first one is kind of like the important, setup for that series, and then everything else that you're going to see after that will be pretty cool. And then and my ability to then cover the different Fallout storylines from the first Fallout onward, and so that's kind of the idea behind it. And I don't know. I can't tell you a lot of stuff, so it makes it really hard to talk too much about it without just making it sound kind of generic. But anyway, yeah, I hope you liked this. If you have any other questions, any idea, okay, yeah. If you have any other questions, feel free and ask. I'm gonna try and do this as regularly as I can, these builds, and if you have any ideas for things you want to see, one thing I wanted to do is an actual controller for a game that's becoming popular, and so I will also keep you up to date for that. That will be pretty cool. And we're also working on a movie prop for an actual movie at this point, and hope that will also be cool. So So stay tuned. Thanks again for joining. If you haven't already, subscribe. If you haven't already like, and also, yeah, comment. Let me know what you are wanting, so that we can do more exciting things like this. Thanks so much. I'm trying to leave both things at the same time here. So there we go. We'll see you later.